Welcome back to day 22. The more I read Genesis 30 and 31, the more I feel like it's ancient reality TV. The drama is off the charts.
Totally. Like Rachel straight up tells Jacob, give me children or I'll die. That's not just dramatic, it's desperate.
And Jacob doesn't sugarcoat his response either. He's like, am I in God's place? That had to sting.
Yeah, but then she pulls out a card from Sarah's old playbook, offers her maid Bilhah as a surrogate. Boom, Dan is born.
Followed by Naphtali. And she's like, I've wrestled with my sister and won. That's so intense. It's not even about motherhood anymore. It's sibling rivalry in full throttle.
Leah catches on real quick. She stops bearing children. So she's like, okay, Zilpah, your turn. And then boom, Gad and Asher enter the scene.
This is a full-on baby war. It's like, oh, you have 2? Watch me get 4 more. Children become social currency, status symbols.
And then the mandrake incident. Reuben finds them, and suddenly Rachel wants what Leah's got. What even are mandrakes?
Ancient fertility herbs, apparently. So Rachel trades Jacob's nightly presents for mandrakes. I mean, what?
Leah literally says, I've hired you with my son's mandrakes. That's wild. And somehow it works. Issachar is born.
And not just him. Zebulun and Dinah follow. Leah's got a whole clan at this point. Meanwhile, Rachel's still waiting.
Until finally, God remembers her. Joseph is born. That moment feels huge, like a narrative turning point.
Definitely. And what's fascinating is how personal emotions, envy, desperation, pride, are driving this story. But the bigger theme is God's timing and favor.
And then we shift into chapter 31, and the vibe totally changes. Now, it's not baby drama, it's family politics and economic tension.
Jacob hears Laban's sons grumbling, like, he took all our father's stuff. The tension is bubbling.
Laban's face says it all. Jacob can tell the affection is gone. That's when God steps in. Go back to your land. Clear divine directives.
So Jacob secretly packs up everything. Wives, kids, flocks, and flees. But Rachel? She pulls her own move. Steals her dad's teraphim. What's up with that?
Right? Household gods, maybe for inheritance rights or protection. Either way, she hides them under her saddle and pretends she can't get up because of her period.
And Laban buys it. He searches everywhere but doesn't find the idols. Honestly, Rachel plays that moment with skill.
Then comes Jacob's monologue. Oh man, that was cathartic. 20 years of hard work, mistreatment, wage changes. He finally lets it all out.
And he's not wrong. The man has receipts. He's like, if it weren't for God, you'd have sent me off empty-handed.
Laban's response is classic deflection. Everything is mine. But he doesn't push further. Instead, they make a covenant.
That heap of stones? It's more than a marker. It's like a Cold War truce. You stay on your side, I stay on mine.
There's something oddly respectful about it, though. Like, despite all the deceit and frustration, they find a way to part without violence.
Right. Jacob even offers a sacrifice. There's a closure there, even if it's not warm and fuzzy.
What strikes me is how human everyone is in this story. There's scheming, manipulation, loyalty, frustration, and yet God's hand is weaving through it all.
Totally. The messiness doesn't cancel out the purpose. In fact, it highlights it. God isn't just working through saints. He's moving through real, flawed people.
And that's what makes the narrative so powerful. It's not a fairy tale, it's survival, struggle, and strange victories.
I mean, Jacob's flock building method, using peeled rods and strategic mating, it's part science, part divine mystery.
And somehow, it works. His wealth explodes, and that just adds fuel to the fire with Laban's family.
It's like first the womb, then the wealth. Jacob starts weak in both, but by the end, he's got abundance in children and flocks.
And not by force, but through persistence and trust. Even when deceived, he keeps going, and God keeps blessing.
You think Rachel ever told Jacob she took the idols?
Ooh, now that's a good question. We don't get a follow-up, which makes me think maybe that secret stayed buried.
Or maybe it came back to bite later. You never know in Genesis. Seeds planted in one chapter bloom 5 later.
That's true. And the fact that Laban doesn't find them but also doesn't push past God's warning, that shows even he's aware of divine boundaries.
That line, don't speak to Jacob, good or bad. It's like God's putting up guardrails. This whole journey has divine fingerprints all over it.
And Rachel's desire for more children, even after Joseph, she says, may the Lord add another son, that longing doesn't stop.
Which sets us up for Benjamin's birth later, tragic as that moment is. But here, it's just hope. Hope wrapped in struggle.
It's honestly hard not to feel for everyone in this story. They're all navigating jealousy, survival, family ties, and divine mystery.
And isn't that still us today? Different context, sure, but same mix of mess and grace.
That's the timelessness of it. These aren't just characters, they're mirrors.
I love that. Maybe the challenge is to see our own Jacob moments. Not just the struggle, but the growth.
Or our Leah moments, feeling unseen but still blessed, or Rachel's, a desire so deep it aches.
Exactly. And then to trust like Jacob did, even when everything looks stacked against you.
So here's a question to close out. In your own life, where have you seen blessing come through the chaos?
Oof, that's a good one. Let's leave that with our listeners today.
Yeah, think on it. And maybe read Genesis again, not for the perfection, but for the process.
We'll see you next time. Stay curious. Stay honest.
And stay in the story. Until tomorrow, God bless.